My own dear husband, your letter of the 7th came last evening, and I felt like pinching you for writing such a short one. Your motive was good, but I was disappointed. Yet when I saw the letter was such a short one, I feared it was written on the eve of a battle, and when I found it was not, I was so glad that I did not care so much for its being short. But darling, I am under the painful necessity of saying my eyes are well. After I had the wild hairs pulled out, they cured almost by magic, it was so rapid. After Hosea had them really cured of the disease, the wild hairs kept them irritated. Now do you suppose I would have had them cured so soon had I even thought of the probability of your coming home to stay? Were I the only one which would have suffered, I surely would have kept them so far I could stand anything for the sake of your coming home. But then our little darlings. A mother's duty demanded I should do all I could to have them restored so I could care for them. All that care is on me, and I am thankful that they are well. Ever since Modi's sickness last summer, I have felt that you would be spared to do your duty in this war, that I would be spared to take care of the children until you got home. Hosea was here today, and said he had written to you to resign and come home. Now, darling, bless your dear heart, my soul. She has smoothed his black plumes and laid them to sleep, whilst the angels above them their high vigils keep. And she sits here alone, with the snow on her brow, your cheers for her comrades, 3 cheers for her now. And these were the women who went to the war, the women of question. What did they go for? Because in their hearts God had planted the seed of pity for woe and help for its need. They saw in high purpose a duty to do, and the armor of right broke the barriers through. Uninvited, unaided, unsanctioned oft-times, with pass or without it, they pressed on the lines. They pressed, they implored, till they ran the lines through, and this was the running men saw them do. 'Twas a hampered work, its worth largely lost. 'Twas a hindrance, and pain, and effort, and cost. But through these came knowledge, knowledge is power, and never again in the deadliest hour of war or of peace shall we be so beset to accomplish the purpose our spirits have met. And what would they do if war came again? The scarlet cross floats where all was blank then. They would bind on their brassards and march to the fray, and the man liveth not who could say to them nay. They would stand with you now as they stood with you then, the nurses, consolers, and saviors of men.
There are many people who do not know what some of the colored women did during the war. There are hundreds of them who assisted the Union soldiers by hiding them and helping them to escape. When I went into Savannah in 1805, I was told of one of these stockades which was in the suburbs of the city, and they said it was an awful place. The soldiers were starving, and these women did all they could towards relieving those men, although they knew the penalty should they be caught giving them aid. Others assisted in various ways the Union Army. These things should be kept in history before the people. There has never been a greater war in the United States than the one of 1861, where so many lives were lost, not men alone, but noble women as well.
When I came back, I found about a dozen ladies in camp. They were such hard-looking cases, though, that I was afraid to go close to them. I think from the way they crowded around the band when it began to play that some of them never had been from home before.
Some of us got to arguing with Eliza yesterday, but we might as well have tried to make her believe that the sun shines here in the night as to make a secessionist of her, and this is the way with all the Unionists. Tell John Beard he must try to make a secessionist of his father and Sam. We were sewing 2 days last week at Newport, making pants for the soldiers. There was a pair cut out and marked for you. It said they were for the Southern Guard, but I believe there is pants made in Middlebrook for them, so we don't know who will get these that were made at Newport. The ladies have been making clothing and tents for the Brownsburg troop who lost their clothing at Philippa. The wagon started today. It is to be hoped their defeat will be a lesson to our troops to be on their guard. I have no time to write any more, as the mail carrier has gone by, and I wish to send this today if possible. Write soon and often. Your affectionate sister, Mary Allison.